Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into a really timeless idea, one that gets at a question we've all asked ourselves: how do we find our way in the world? We're going to be talking about a concept that's both a map of the universe and, at the same time, a personal guide for our lives. We are talking about the Tao.
I mean, it's a question we all bump into at some point, isn't it? What's my purpose? Am I on the right track? Well, what we're talking about today speaks directly to that universal search for meaning and for direction.
So here's what we've got lined up. First, we'll try to pin down what the Tao actually is. Then, we'll use this great metaphor, the sun and the clouds, to understand ourselves a little better. We'll look at how to unlock our own inner wisdom, check out the 5 big rewards you get from following this path, and then wrap up with some amazing stories that really bring these lessons to life.
Okay, let's dive right in. First things first, what exactly is the Tao? It's a word you've probably heard thrown around, but its meaning, well, it's deep, and it's got a few different layers. You see, at its heart, the Tao isn't just one single thing, it's this powerful idea with 2 sides. Think of it as, on one hand, the fundamental operating system for the entire universe, and on the other hand, it's the personal path that each and every one of us is meant to walk in our lives.
Let's break that down a little more. On one side, you've got the Tao as the principle. This is the unchanging law of, well, everything. It's the logic that keeps the stars in the sky, that shapes the mountains and rivers, and it's even that little voice inside us, our conscience. Then, on the other side, the Tao is the path. This is our spiritual road. You know, just like a plane has a flight path, or a ship has a route, our spirit has a correct path to follow to find its way back home.
Okay, so if this path and this universal principle exist, why do we so often feel completely lost? That brings us to a really simple but profound metaphor that helps explain the human condition: the sun and the clouds.
Just think about it for a second. On a really dark, stormy day, you look up and all you can see are these thick, gray clouds. Has the sun actually disappeared? Vanished?
Well, no, of course not, right? The sun's brilliance is constant. Its light, its warmth, it's always there. It's just temporarily hidden from our view by those clouds.
So this metaphor, it's a perfect mirror for our own inner world. The sun is your true, brilliant nature, that innate goodness and conscience that you were born with. It's always there. And the clouds, well, those are our human flaws, our negative emotions. Things like greed, anger, ignorance, all the stuff that rolls in and blocks the light of our true selves.
So, this is the really crucial part. If our true nature is the sun and our flaws are the clouds, then how do we clear the sky? This is where the whole journey of the Tao becomes about unlocking your own wisdom.
You see, seeking the Tao isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's actually the process of removing what's hiding who you truly are. It's all about clearing away those clouds, those negative habits and emotions, so that your inner sun, your best self, can finally shine through again. And that's why getting guidance on the path is seen as the key that opens the door to wisdom. It's this wisdom that lets us navigate all the challenges life throws at us, to see beyond the clouds, and at the end of the day, to find our way back home to our own clarity and purpose. Okay, so if we actually decide to go on this journey of self-discovery, what's in it for us? What are the rewards? Well, it turns out the benefits are both super practical and incredibly profound. The source material lays out 5 huge rewards. And these range from the really personal, like opening up true wisdom and literally changing your destiny, to the incredibly profound, like transcending the cycle of life and death, finding safety from disasters, and even fulfilling what's called ultimate filial piety, which is about honoring our parents and ancestors in the deepest way imaginable. Let's just zoom in on one of those for a second: changing your destiny. This isn't some kind of magic trick. It's actually presented as a very clear, logical chain of events. You seek the Tao, which leads to cultivating yourself. That process changes your mindset. A new mindset leads to different actions. And, as we all know, it's our consistent actions that build our character and, ultimately, change our destiny.
You know, abstract ideas are great, but stories are what make things really stick. So let's look at a few short parables from our sources that bring these ideas to life.
So here's a great story about wisdom. A fighter pilot decides to show off for an Airbus captain. He does all these wild stunts, zips by, and gets on the radio. "How was that?" The Airbus captain just calmly replies, "Impressive. Now watch me." For the next 5 minutes, the huge Airbus just flies straight and steady. Finally, the captain says, "Done." The fighter pilot is confused. He asks, "What did you do?" The captain says, "I got up, stretched, had a coffee, and used the restroom. Can you do that in your little jet?" The lesson is so clear. True wisdom isn't about being flashy. It's about knowing your real purpose and fulfilling your duty with quiet confidence.
All right, next up, a story from way back in history, one that's attributed to Alexander the Great. As he was lying on his deathbed, a long way from home, he made 3 final wishes.
His first wish was a really powerful statement. He ordered that his doctors, and only his doctors, carry his coffin. Why? He wanted to send a message to the world that even the best, most skilled physicians are powerless against death. It was this profound reminder for everyone to cherish the precious life they have, right now.
His second wish was all about wealth. He commanded that the entire path to his tomb be covered with the gold, silver, and gems he'd conquered. This wasn't about ego. It was a lesson. All the material stuff we spend our lives chasing, we leave it all behind. You can't take a single coin with you. And his third and final wish, this might be the most striking one of all. He ordered that his hands be left hanging outside the coffin, open and empty, for everyone in the crowd to see. And his reason was just so simple, so profound. He said, "I want people to understand, I came into this world with empty hands, and I leave with empty hands." It's a reminder that what truly matters is everything we do in between.
Let's close this out with one last really thought-provoking story that kind of ties all of this together. It's about a mother who gives her daughter 3 small boxes for her 20th birthday.
In the first box, there's a mirror. It's labeled the present you. In the second box is a tiny skeleton, and it's labeled the future you, a reminder of our mortality. But in that third box, there's a beautiful, shining statue, and it's labeled the eternal you, representing our true, brilliant spiritual nature. So the question this whole explainer leaves us with is this: knowing that these 3 versions of yourself exist, the present, the future, and the eternal, which one will you choose to focus on? Which one will you cultivate? What path will you decide to walk?